My name is Ashton Rollins.
So my name is Blake.
Yeah, so I'm Anthony Straffolino.
My name is Meghna, and
My name is Julia Perline.
What do these students all have in common? They all currently take or took ME 2110.
ME 2110, also known as Creative Decisions and Design, is a required course offered in the field of mechanical engineering. It is a full semester project-based class ending with a final competition. ME 2110 focuses on teaching fundamental techniques for creating, analyzing, synthesizing, and implementing design solutions for open-ended problems. The course emphasizes flexibility, adaptability, and creativity in both team-based and individual design efforts.
The goal of our project was to discover if the business majors who enrolled in this class felt sufficiently prepared for the rigorous course load and had the proper transferable skills to allow them to quickly and effectively adapt to the class. How do they acclimate to the predominantly engineering environment of ME 2110?
I am doing a dual degree program between Emory University and Georgia Institute of Technology, where I did 3 years at Emory for econ, and now I'm here for 2 years doing mechanical engineering.
I'm a business major because this semester I've started a engineering business minor.
I'm a business major, minoring in mechanical engineering and minoring in computer science.
And I just graduated with a major in mechanical engineering in the dual degree program.
I majored in business and also got a minor in engineering.
What did you know about this class? I mean,
I have to say I honestly didn't know much. I just knew it was one of the courses I could complete on my schedule.
I really didn't know anything signing up for the class, so I was totally flying blind.
I knew the reputation that it has for being a hard class, but I definitely didn't know like the ins and outs of
Okay, was there anything specific that you hoped to gain from the class, or
Necessarily plan to be graduating and doing any intensive manufacturing work in my career, but I know that at one point in my life I do definitely want to pursue entrepreneurship, which might involve designing and innovating some sort of product. So I know that there's a huge emphasis in this class on more of your reporting abilities and your ability to present.
I wanted to learn how to think and act like an engineer and make game time decisions.
do you think that non-ME majors are at a disadvantage in this class?
Yeah, I think that I took some engineering classes prior to that, and even just in high school, some classes. And I think that part of it is just the mindset of being creative that's really important to have going into that class. Even if you just are doing those activities where you have a golf ball and you see how high you can get it to be with a bunch of straws, stuff like that, it kind of forces you to think in the same way that that class is going to have you think. I mean,
I've personally never CADed before. Fortunately, my group members are really into CAD and they love CADing, so they've done a lot of that so far. But then we also have to do some coding for the Arduinos, and I've never worked with C++ before, but I am trying to pick up that skill.
In lectures, a lot of times, he'll talk about concepts and he'll be like, a lot of you will have heard of this in previous courses, and I'm like, I have no idea what that term even means. And also in some of the trainings that we were doing for things like laser cutting and even as simple as bandsaws, a lot of the information went by really quickly, and there's not that great a documentation to figure it out later, so it's definitely a big learning curve.
Engineering concepts which I was really unfamiliar with, and I don't think we had enough time to actually learn it and progress and show what we were just learning. It was more so we were learning from our teammates and trying to write the reports, because the technical side was just something that I was completely unaware of. And I think the class was so fast paced that it was so difficult to get on pace and move ahead.
No, not at all. Honestly, I would say that I definitely have abilities with the presentation side of things, just from internships in investment banking last summer and just doing corporate work for the past 3 summers at this point.
do you think that this class should be available to more students, not necessarily just those who are interested in mechanical engineering?
But I think it's it'd be an interesting class for anybody to take if they're interested, just to learn more about how to present.
Right, so you can't do it if you have no interest in any sort of coding, programming, manufacturing, anything like that, because you definitely have to have that engineering interest. But if you do have that interest, I think it should be available to people who want to pursue an engineering, complement to their current degree pathway.
depends. I think that maybe if there was a class like separate for non-majors, that would be beneficial because I know there were some non-majors in my class that were struggling because they didn't have experience with SolidWorks or coding.
I think it should be offered, but I definitely think that there should be maybe a prereq class or like a disclaimer that it's going to be like a bigger learning curve if you're not that major.
No, actually, I don't think so. That's because either there needs to be a prereq class for ME 2110 where other majors who are not engineers get a chance to actually learn the language and learn the technical side of it.
So what did we get out of all of this? We believe that the class's unique project-based style makes it an appealing class that more students should be allowed to take. However, we do realize that this class might not teach all of the pre-knowledge, so a separate beginner version of the class could become an option. Well, what do you think? Would you take ME 2110?